Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mickey Mouse here, and I'm Piglet here. We are back for the Maxi Toys, and welcome back to tomorrow's play of Super Smash Bros. Melee from the Nintendo GameCube. It's the last time that we actually did select Kirby in Classic Mode, and today for this episode, we're about to be returned back to the Adventure Mode, and show one of the next set of newcomers that we're actually going to showcase in this game that actually first introduced. So, remember how last time that we actually been into Adventure Mode was actually Princess Peach? But now, even though that we actually did already select Mario, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, and as well as the other gang from Classic Mode. But this time around though, we're actually going to be picking Ice Climbers for today. Now, you're probably wondering why we can't actually just play as Dr. Mario and Falco, Ganondorf, Young Link, Roy, and especially Pichu for the Adventure Mode. Because, you guys should know what we're trying to talk about as soon as we actually get into the actual continuation of this Let's Play. So for now on, today's video session is going to be Ice Climbers in the Adventure Mode. So as far as Ice Climbers are concerned, as far as the first introduction to these two duos, these guys are firstly introduction to in the Ice Climber game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Which I don't know exactly what year did that came out in that particular time. But even then though, these guys look really cool for the looks of it when they, especially for the introduction to the Super Smash Bros. Player like these guys. And even though that the Ice Climbers do make a return in Super Smash Bros. Brawl though, which is kind of cool. But even then though, unfortunately though, for these Ice Climbers as far as the players is concerned, unfortunately for those two duos do not make a return in the newest entry in the series. Which is from, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS. I was hoping though if that, I'll explain more into that, the Nintendo Switch console. We'll get into that as soon as we actually get into the Adventure Mode as Ice Climbers. So anyway though, you know how that we're actually constantly getting Luigi and Luigi's happening in between Peach and Bowser's playthrough? We'll decide that we're not going to do that for Ice Climbers because even then though that once we kept on using the Luigi's trick again, this means we have to do it like again tired of that little situation. Although it's kind of fun to actually just watch the entire scene like Luigi is going to replace Mario from the entire fight. Even then I found this really satisfying. But anyway though, so for now though, let's just go ahead and fight against with Princess Peach like usual, and in addition to Mario. So yeah. Unless if you actually be using Mario from the Adventure Mode though, that his costume actually changes into a Wario's color scheme, but I digress. So yeah, as far as Ice Climber is concerned when it comes to movesets and what have you, that they actually just noticed that in a standalone B, which if you press B on B button all by its own, I'm pretty sure it'll just actually try to send out the blizzards, in this case the iceberg ice. And then if you actually just use the side B smash, those two will actually do ourselves a hammer swinging, which you can actually just move the hammer like in a little spin. And then as a result from that, it might be really handy though if you're actually trying to be more likely, although you won't do it all the time though, but just saying. Alright, so now we face off with giant Donkey Kong, and wow, we managed to beat him by under 5 seconds. Jeez, that was the most pathetic parts about it, which is kind of a little bit too easy for my parts. Anyway, Underground Maze, so let's go ahead and find ourselves a Triforce. No, we're just gonna have to completely ignore the Link battles because it might just take a little bit too long for my taste. But even then though, and also not to mention that it might actually lose our ability to actually lose some of the points and stuff. Even then though, it might just be wasting my time for my part. And there we go, there's the Triforce just right here. So anyway though, as far as the down B special is the fact that the Ice Climbers can actually do, I know it's a bit of a weird move. It was actually called the Ice Breath ability. Wow, that's Zelda's fire spell almost gonna trying to directly hit us. Yeah, well, just I kind of felt a bit impressed about her when she's trying to do that, but somehow we use the shield button, so even then though, that we're actually fully protected by that. But then anyway. So, and finally, the up B attack, oh yeah, let's talk about the down B special attack first. That, normally that's, how, that the Ice Climbers can actually do. Although it's kind of a weird ability for them to actually have it on. But basically, they actually have themselves the Ice Breath powers. Which I don't know why it has that though, but I need to figure out the movesets properly. I'm not an instruction manual. Unfortunately though, we don't actually have ourselves, yeah, as you can see right there. Unfortunately though, we don't have ourselves a instruction manual with Super Smash Bros. Melee, sadly. Because even then, that we usually had first got it back in, I'm pretty sure it's a long time during 2004 or something. While the game came out in 2002, but even then, at least in 2001 in North America and Japan, well, I digress. Now, there's something we want to mention about briefly and for a moment there, is the fact that if you guys played the Japanese version of Super Smash Bros. Melee, specifically Smash Bros. DX, or Deluxe even, the specific player characters do have their own different names to it, like similar to how it does in the original game. Like for instance, if you play the English version on the Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 64, that Jigglypuff was actually her name, called obviously Jigglypuff. But in the Japanese version, that Jigglypuff was actually called in Japan Porin. So yeah, and I think it also has that in Super Smash Bros. Melee and also Brawl. And for the Nintendo 3DS and for the Wii U as far as that as well. And it's also the same with likes of Bowser, because even then if you play the Japanese version of Super Smash Bros. Melee, he actually calls Bowser Koopa. So yeah, and also same applies to Ice Climbers. Well, usually if you play the English version of Super Smash Bros. Melee and Brawl, that Ice Climbers just calls it Ice Climbers. But if you play the Japanese version, however, it just only called them Ice Climber. Which, that's why it's based off of the NES title on the, you know, during Nintendo Entertainment System as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, so now let's go and head back to our discussion about the Ice Climbers special movesets. It's the fact that, one unique thing I find from, what the heck? I'm guessing somehow that the random block like dropping out of the sky and then is somehow trying to protect Kirby on screen, which I found is kind of odd and strange. So anyway, though, as far as the up B special attack for Ice Climbers, which I found is kind of unique special move to begin with, is to actually they managed to get ourselves back up in the stage. Which comes in really handy if you actually try to recover yourself from trying to get back into the arena, which you don't like waste your stocks in. So yeah, it's really handy though, but unfortunately though, you need to be accurate, like you have to have your companion with you, because taking a note from Duck Hunt Duo, although it's kind of similar to Duck Hunt Duo from the new Smash Bros. Game, that usually have two characters control all at once, which is kind of unique. But yeah, and I think we actually got the ability to actually fight against our giant Kirby now, which, sure enough, we did. Granted, we haven't actually fight him since Bowser's playthrough on, you know, the adventure mode. But the only one exception is Peach, because I found Peach can be quite difficult for me to control sometimes. But even then, though, I think it's pretty much a possibility of how that you have to be really accurate with your movements and stuff and like that. So anyway, though. So yeah, that's all we can say about Ice Climbers, basically. I think these guys do look really awesome introduced. There was actually a really good introduction to the Ice Climbers as a fighter from the Smash Bros. Community. But unfortunately, though, that again, those two duos do only make an appearance in Super Smash Bros. Did he kill himself with a stone? Oh god. Sometimes though that these opponents can get downright like consistently, like, I don't know, like imagine how if we actually did you know, you saw from Yoshi's classic mode video in part number 7 that in this case in this playthrough that Dr. Mario just actually killed himself actually trying to actually strike on us, which is kind of really strange. I think it's also the same applies to Giant Kirby did accidentally use a stone from the bombs and blocks. Sadly, no Falco fight yet, because even though that again that I found is kind of really random. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm pretty sure you need to be really accurate with your timing and whatnot to actually deal with Fox first. Although, again, I kind of felt a little bit, it's kind of a little bit hard for me sometimes to deal with, like, trying to actually fight Falco instead of Fox twice. But even then, I'll have to look that up at some point or another. Or even then, though, if we actually just about to get ourselves trying to sort out the character selection from the next set of few videos ahead. So even then, though, we'll try our best if we actually try to do so. So yeah, let's talk about that. Are you kidding me? That Snorlax just somehow just managed to strike on us by these bunch of Pikachus. That's a little bit too lame, but I digress. So let's talk about on the more onto the this Nintendo Switch thing that we actually did briefly mention that on the last episode. That normally that's how that it actually bring up Mario Kart 8 ports will be ported to Nintendo Switch. And there's also Splatoon will be up until, in this case, the Splatoon ports on Nintendo Switch will be on its way on the. Oh. Somehow the battle ends, and then no matter what though, that Seesaw managed to deal the last blow. Well, despite the fact that the Explodamites, they actually explode at the end, but even then it does show the explosion effect. Well, unfortunately it's been blocked by the game stuff. But yeah, you know. Alright, here we go with F-Zero Grand Prix as Ice Climbers. Look at them go, they're going really fast here. So yeah, if you couldn't tell already, that there's one more thing we need to mention about Ice Climbers is that you know his companion of the pink clothing that she's got. Luckily though, she doesn't count as losing the stock though. However, the only character you'll be using is the blue version of the Ice Climber, which I can't exactly pronounce the proper names for these two, but even then, we have to look that up at some point or another. But if you accidentally lose your companion, you still have the ability to chance to live, like as you can see right here, that luckily though, you don't actually lose your stock from doing so. But if you somehow manage to let your main Ice Climber go fall down to the bottomless pit, you will lose your stock. However, if you somehow lose yourself, and especially lose your stock, when your companion still lived, that she immediately trying to teleport it or disappear. Which I think that's why, because of the limitations of how you need to be. Although those two are still practically together, so yeah. If you ever played Ice Climber before on Nintendo Entertainment System, it's basically a, you know, traditional platforming game, just trying to go all the way up to the top, and that's all there is to it when it comes to this simple Ice Climber video game, as you can see. Unfortunately though, for these Ice Climbers here, that the Ice Climber is the only Ice Climber game to be released on that particular system. There's no any other incarnations of Ice Climbers everywhere. Like, I think that's probably because of the how in the NES classic game, that all the Ice Climber can get is the fact that it gets like a little bit of a, you know, you can't lose, you can't like change directions in midair. That's what the reason that's how the arcadic style of games usually do that. Alright, so 3 bunch of nests. So even then, that last time we actually been to this place, I remember that how we actually got ourselves the first continue as Princess Peach. Even then, that's totally because of how we kept on losing those stocks. I think it's mostly because of how Peach's defense is actually a little bit too weak for my taste. Even then, it gets even a bit more better as soon as you actually play Super Smash Bros. 4 from customizable skills and stuff. But I digress though. But since this is the second game in the series after all, but even then though, I don't really mind about it too much when it comes to that. So anyway, there's also another game will be about to be released on Nintendo Switch, which was again the Splatoon port, which I'm presuming it might actually contain some of the DLC packs already from the get-go, which I'm presuming, because even then though, that Splatoon, did those 2 nests that we actually did manage to beat, did manage to somehow got beat out of the likes of the car. Yeah, which sounds pretty weird. Oh, we have ourselves a different music right here. Oh yeah, before we actually talk more into Splatoon from Nintendo Switch, as you can hear, guys, is that originally though, that if we actually get into the 10th stage where we're at right now, Icicle Mountain, that occasionally though, there's also another new introduction to the game. Is the fact that rather than you actually only have one music track for the stage, instead you have a multiple versions of the tracks themselves played in during the stage. I think what happens is that if you're actually trying to go to the new stage or something like that, I think it suggests you actually have to hold down the Z button until you actually get this thing worked. Because after when you do that, it'll actually just make your music go different during the stage. Because then the previous incarnation that we have been to this stage was originally played as an Icicle Mountain music. But this time, however, that we actually have ourselves a different theme. I think this theme was actually based off of balloon fights on the Nintendo Entertainment System. We play as the balloon fight right there, and then basically the main objective on that particular Nintendo Entertainment System game, that you're gonna have to pop all of these rivalry balloons, and that's about it. Especially the balloons in general. But if you guys know in the comments below if you actually like to try yourself a balloon fight. It's a pretty fun game for what I've heard of it. But yeah. Alright, yeah, what am I talking about? Anyways, battlefield time. Unfortunately though, we have to deal with these weird physics to solve here. So I digress. So that's all I can say about Ice Climbers. I found it's a really, really welcoming addition to the series though. So you know, that's all we can say about these two duos here. Alright, so we have to take down this last two wireframe, fighters. Even though we have to deal with, again, I seriously hate explosions. Why ain't any single explosions every time in this playthrough? I mean, it did happen a couple of dozens of times though, however, but still, you can't really help it. Alright, the Metal Mario Brothers time. So anyways, I'm sorry for the bit of a delay for discussing about the more stuff about the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, let's talk more onto Splatoon for Nintendo Switch. I'm assuming it will actually contain some of the content in since the Wii U version, I'm assuming, plus with new additional content, I'm assuming. So even then, that we might as well have to find out during in 2017. And there's also the likes of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which Breath of the Wild will be also being released on Nintendo Wii U. I think this might be the final between 2017 or 2016. I'm presuming 2017 most likely. That I'm assumingly that the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for Nintendo Wii U might actually be the last Nintendo Wii U game to be launched in for the system itself, because even then though, due to the poor sales of the Wii U system itself, which is unfortunate, and also that during the a lot of interface is actually really good though, but it's just the fact that the system has been gone significantly poor sales compared to Nintendo Wii, from as far as Wii Sports is concerned with the bundle, but I digress. Alright, so now we're fighting against with Bowser in Final Destination. We're hoping that we can actually fight against with Giga Bowser for a third time, which we're hoping to delve for, because for one, that obviously this is normal difficulty, and plus if we actually be faster enough, then we should able to actually try to go ahead and fight against with him, assuming if we actually don't lose too many stocks. Specifically, likely 5 of them, if you can tell. So anywho. And another game that we mostly hyped for the Nintendo Switch will have to be obviously the 3D Mario game has been announced. We're hyping if there was going to be Super Mario Galaxy 3, because even then, we have now finally completed Super Mario Galaxy 1, which was back in a long time ago, as well as we've now recently got maximum of 100% completion in Super Mario Galaxy 2, including all the green star collecting, as well as all the common medals, and etc. Okay, so now we're going to fight against with Giga Bowser, because obviously the stage clear words has been said. So I wonder how we can actually deal with Giga Bowser with these two duos. We must have got pretty lucky at this point, because even then, this is the only time that we did not use any continues, which is kind of cool. Although the only time we lost the stock on, it was actually the Snorlax did beat the crap out of us. Specifically when these bunch of Pikachus come into the joint of fight. But anyway though. So let's see how we can deal with this guy until we actually just notice that, yeah, since after all, that back in the Bowser's playthrough on the adventure mode, that somehow we sadly lost, we only used only one continue, but even then, the same goes for the likes of Princess Peach, but we haven't exactly used continue in the Giga Bowser fight as Peach, but the only one exception, mind you, is Bowser himself. So anyway, so let's go ahead and try to, you know, try to be more concentrative here. So yeah, anyway, back into what we were saying about the next Super Mario 3D title will be launching on Nintendo Switch, which I'm hoping it'll be Super Mario Galaxy 3 most likely, because even though we only have like two games on the Super Mario 3D series, but even then though, dang it, he did beat his companion, but we did manage to finish him off though during time, as well as there's a hard container showing up, but even then we didn't actually grab it in time. So yeah, we don't actually use any continues, which is kind of lucky. If we're hoping if we don't lose a stock on the you know, the Pokemon Stadium, especially the likes of you know, Giga Bowser fight, but still, Giga Bowser is easily the ultimate challenge of actually beating the ultimate foe. But I digress. I think that's all we can say about Ice Climbers, basically. These two duos look really cool. Especially for the likes of how, yeah, they actually fully, have some welcome addition to the, you know, the first introduction to the, you know, during the Super Smash Bros. Series. So yeah, you get the idea. And as usual, we're gonna end the video off. We'll actually showcase the Ice Climbers target test, because even then, just like Bowser and Princess Peach, that we figure we might actually do the same things it does it for the other two. So anyway, 43 hits. So even then, it's not quite a lot compared to the likes of how we did for Yoshi's and Mario and stuff. But I digress though. And it looks like they're doing the Ice Breath specific powers until we actually you know. So we got Ice Climbers Trophy as a result, and we got Giga Bowser Trophy, which is kind of rare for what it seems like it. But I don't know how you exactly unlock that, but we'll tell you more into that detail until we actually get to back to classic mode, until we actually get to ourselves the last 8 original characters from the original game. So anyway though, so here's one of my favorite break the targets level in the entire game itself. You know how you know, the Ice Climbers you can actually just play in. The Ice Climbers do have their own you know, the ice break the targets levels that, as you can see, this stage is entirely based off of the Ice Climber game as far as the stage itself, which is pretty cool, in addition to the Icicle Mountain theme it's been playing. As well as the bird right there in 8-bit rendered, and overall this is a really nice looking target smash level entirely, and we beat a new record! Perfect timing to actually just get a new record from it. So anyways, we're gonna have to end things off here. So next time on Let's Play Super Smash Bros. Melee is the fact that we're gonna actually select the next 2 returning characters from the original game, which are both Fox and Pikachu. So yeah, see you guys then. Later, fellas.